If you would like a sneak peek at where the housing market is heading, then this is the video for you. The March Pending Home Sales Report is a leading indicator of home sales, meaning it provides an earlier insight into housing market activity than we get by studying lagging indicators such as home sales. With the exception of detailed supply and demand numbers, there is no better source of current information than one can glean from new contract activity in the housing market. Today's report is a comprehensive review of new contracts, and it concludes with a revealing forecast of the coming months in the Tallahassee real estate market. And if you're not in our market area, I can tell you that your local numbers will be similar to what you see here. Though the prices and values might be different, my interaction with agents around the U.S. has me confident that the contract activity and the supply of homes are likely to be very similar. You can learn a lot about your market from this video. I've included a link to the homes for sale in Tallahassee. Give it a click and you will notice how many of them are already contract pending once you scroll past the highest price homes. Hi, I'm Joe Manausa, author of The Business of Getting Business and the creator of Manausa.com, where I've helped tens of thousands of people buy and sell homes. I would like to help you too. If you already are a subscriber, thank you and welcome back. If you're not a subscriber, please consider becoming one now. We offer the most thorough and accurate housing market reports on YouTube, plus answers to your real estate frequently asked questions, and we also provide virtual tours of some of the most beautiful homes in Tallahassee. Please remember to like this video, then hit subscribe and click the bell so that you're the most informed buyer or seller in your next real estate transaction. Our first graph plots each month's sales organized by the date the contracts were written. The number of homes that were put under contract each month is color-coded, with the blue bars showing 2019, the gray bars showing 2020, and the red bars showing 2021 contracts. Contracts were up in January and February, and the number of contracts written through the 23rd of March is just 11% fewer than those written through all of March last year, and we still have the final quarter of March to go. It's important to point out that not all of these new contracts will close, so it'll take some time to get an accurate evaluation of the market today versus the market at the same time in previous years. Through all of our inventory reports over the past few years, I have pointed out that we need more homes. We need existing sellers to put their homes on the market, but more importantly, we need builders to deliver additional homes to compensate for the lack of new construction over the past 6 years. While we did see builders increase production in 2020, we have seen this trend reverse, and March appears to be the worst of the previous 15 months for builder activity. Look at the graph. The blue bars measure existing home contracts, both pending and closed, by the date the contracts were written, while the red measures the same for new home construction. The red triangles report the percentage of contracts written each month that was new construction, and right now March is below 6%. We need to see new construction push closer to 20% for at least a year or two. The red line shows the one-year trend of the new construction share of the market, and I am greatly concerned about its decline. Last year, just over 12% of the contracts written were for new homes, but the trend for new home share has been dropping for 3 months in a row. As of right now, 106 new construction homes have gone under contract in 2021 compared to 119 written through all of March in 2020, an 11% shortfall, though we still have just over a week left to close the gap in 2021. In the 1990s, it was not uncommon for 20% of all home sales to be new construction, and back then we did not have an inventory shortage like we do today. Builders today could double production without the risk of creating oversupply in the market, so long as they pay attention to the areas and price ranges in which they build. Consider this a plea to all local home builders. We need more homes. If you want to know why I believe builders are not building today, you should check out my most recent video on the U.S. housing market. I've included a link to the video below. In this graph, I calculated the average price of homes under contract in 2021 each month and compared it with the same months in 2020. Look what's happening in March. Buyers in March have been spending 9.5% more than previous buyers were spending in March of 2020. We have to remember that this is an interest rate fueled buying frenzy, and it will slow considerably when interest rates rise. The high end could go dormant if interest rates rise substantially, and that would slow the average home price growth considerably, but it would not stop prices from moving higher. Remember, supply and demand determine price movement, and the lack of inventory means that we should expect prices to continue higher, even if demand is cut significantly. Builders cannot seem to produce new inventory, which is needed until existing home sales prices catch up to the escalating new home costs. Similar to the previous graph, which tracked home prices, this graph tracks the average home value in 2021 each month and compares it with the same months in 2020. Prices are what buyers are spending, whereas values are what sellers are getting, and it's used to measure appreciation in the housing market. The graph shows that the appreciation rate each month in early 2021 is averaging over 8%. Overall, last year's appreciation rate was close to 9.4%, which is about 3 times the average we've seen over the past 30 years. With the inventory remaining at historic lows, I'm expecting to see appreciation move even higher. As reported in numerous other market updates, we continue to see low inventory levels in most areas and price ranges below $600,000, and this is the biggest contributor to accelerated appreciation rates. Now is a great time to sell a home, as buyers want to take advantage of historic low mortgage interest rates before they go away. This graph identifies when the current pending and closed contracts were written, with closed contracts shown in blue and pending contracts shown in red. We do this to identify the highest buyer activity periods and to evaluate the health of the pipeline. By pipeline, I mean the pending home sales and how they are distributed. Since the typical contract closes in 30 to 45 days, we have to be concerned with the number of contracts that appear in our report that are older than 45 days. Currently, about 35% of contracts are older than 45 days, which is better than what we measured the last time we published a pending home sales report. Currently, less than 1 in 4 pending contracts in our MLS was written before the year started. Right now, the oldest pending home sale goes back to August of 2018, which is likely an MLS maintenance issue that needs to be removed. There are an additional 9 pending contracts that are more than a year old, and they're likely bogus as well. Currently, there are 716 Tallahassee homes for sale in the MLS that are under contract with buyers, pending contracts. This represents a growth of nearly 12% since our last pending home sales report. This growth is a normal seasonal move from what we historically see as the market blooms from the winter in February to the spring in March. What is not normal is the percentage of homes listed that are already under contract with buyers. Specifically, the number of contracts compared to the overall pool of listings is far higher than we would seasonably experience, so sales are good, but inventories are far too low. It's important to understand what this means. Yes, demand has grown about 12% from last month, at a time of year when we expect to see demand grow. The limited inventory of homes for sale means that the relative demand relative to the current supply of homes, is exploding. Buyers are wanting to take advantage of low mortgage interest rates, so now's the best time to sell a home that I've seen in my 30 years selling homes in Tallahassee. The year-over-year home sales graph has been set up in a different fashion than all the previous graphs in this report. Note that this one shows all homes sold segmented by the date of closing, while the past graphs were assembled based upon contract dates. I include this in the pending home sales report as a bridge to our other market reports and videos that focus on closed home sales. 6 of the past 7 months have posted gains over the same months in the year prior. In February, the market was up 8% over last February, and that was a strong February as well. It's too early to call March, but I suspect we'll have our 7th straight month of gains. So how strong were the first 2 months of 2021? This graph reveals that it was the 3rd best year on record, falling behind only 2005 and 2006, when inorganic demand pushed the market to unsustainable demand highs. So, should we be worried about the sustainability of the current market? In short, yes and no. Yes, we need to be concerned about how the market will cool when mortgage interest rates rise. But no, the number of sales occurring right now is very much an acceptable level when you consider population growth in Tallahassee since the market peaked 15 years ago. Additionally, you can view a comprehensive examination of the state of the U.S. housing market by following the link I've included below. As a quick summary, our population is larger now, so we should expect more buyers in the market. Additionally, we're not seeing the signs of a housing bubble like we did in 2005 when inventory levels started to rise. Today, inventory levels are falling, a sign that more homes are needed. Homeowners who have been considering a move need to take note. Current conditions are the best I've ever seen for getting top dollar for your home while also selling it within a predictable time schedule. Buyers who've been poorly advised to wait until prices drop will be sorely disappointed. I am confident that the seller's market conditions will continue for the foreseeable future, but I do believe rising mortgage interest rates will eventually reduce the advantage that current home sellers enjoy. Anybody who studies interest rate history will tell you that mortgage interest rates are going to rise. Nobody knows when, but certainly rates will not stay this low forever. When mortgage interest rates do rise, demand at the top of the market will erode significantly and decline throughout the lower price ranges. Due to inventory shortages and the rising cost of construction, lower demand will not result in lowered home prices. Rather, we will see the appreciation rate slow down to a more normal pace. If you know you want to move, you should strongly consider doing so immediately while both inventories and mortgage interest rates are working to your advantage. Regardless of what you decide, we'll be here to keep you up to date on the pending home sales in the Tallahassee real estate market. If you would like to see more videos about our top tips for home buyers, I've assembled a great playlist that you can view by clicking on the box in the top left corner of your screen. For a playlist of top tips for home sellers, just click on the box below it. Please remember to like this video, check out the links below it, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss anything.